Okay, picture this. Tuesday, October 28th, 2025. The rapper Young Bleed, a Southern hip-hop legend, he's caught in this just devastating two-front crisis.
Yeah, it's almost hard to fathom. Physically, he's 37 years old, fighting for his actual life in the ICU. He'd suffered a catastrophic, severe brain aneurysm.
But while that's happening, while doctors are trying to save him, his public identity, his story, is getting assassinated online.
Exactly. Just widespread rumors, bogus media reports,
Yeah.
flat out saying he was dead.
Imagine being the family, the Clifton family. You're trying to hold this private vigil, bedside for someone critically ill.
And at the same time, you're battling this global, honestly traumatizing death hoax that's just exploding across social media.
It's like a medical crisis layered right on top of an information crisis. It's intense.
Absolutely.
Welcome to Starscope Report. We dive into the stories behind the headlines, breaking down the Hollywood drama, the music industry shakeups.
And, really looking at the new rules for things like celebrity privacy in this digital age we're all living in.
So today, we're taking that deep dive into Young Bleed's really acute situation. We want to reveal how his family was basically forced to run this, sophisticated communications plan.
Just to get some peace, right?
Yeah.
At an ICU bedside. And also how that recent triumphant career moment he just had.
Yeah.
How that was actually sort of weaponized by all the misinformation flying around.
Okay, so let's start with the medical side, because the gravity of that, that really frames the family's response leader.
Right. So Young Bleed, Glenn Clifton Jr., to his family, he suffers this severe brain aneurysm. That was Saturday, October 25th, 2025.
And that timing, that's crucial. An aneurysm, especially one they're calling severe, needing immediate ICU care. I mean, that's a sudden, life-threatening event. We're talking major bleeding, potentially.
Yeah, the sources use clinical terms, brain aneurysm, critical condition. It strongly suggests a really severe stroke, maybe something like a subarachnoid hemorrhage. This wasn't minor.
Yeah. No. Rushed to the ICU, and as of, October 29th, the last report, he was still there, still listed as battling for life, doctors just monitoring constantly.
And the sheer tragedy of the timing. It happened almost immediately after this huge career moment for him.
Just days before, he was giving these, energetic, really high-profile performances, ComplexCon and that Cash Money No Limit Verzuz event.
That contrast is key. It wasn't just, interesting timing. It really became the narrative catalyst. It kind of weaponized the bad information later.
How so?
Well, he'd just been so visible, thriving, celebrated, performing his classic 97 hit, Ya Do Dat.
Right, huge track.
So this created this recent, powerful, very positive image. There was this expectation, maybe subconscious, of more content, more energy from him.
And when that energy just abruptly stopped, replaced by silence.
Exactly. The public reaction was intense. That sudden, tragic swing from the energetic triumph to news of him being critically ill, it just made the story incredibly shareable.
And it primed everyone for updates, right? Fast updates, which often means distorted updates.
Precisely. And that rapid reaction, it's also fueled by who he is, his legacy. You got to remember his importance in the scene.
Yeah, Young Bleed is foundational, Southern hip-hop, gangster rap, South Baton Rouge. He's been active since, 94?
Yeah, a long time. He's been called the bridge between the young and the old for that whole region. He genuinely helped pave the way for later Baton Rouge stars, people like Boosie and Webby.
So for the hip-hop community, this wasn't just another celebrity health scare. It felt like potentially losing this piece of institutional memory.
Which absolutely fueled that visceral reaction and sadly probably fueled the rush towards the hoax, too.
Okay, so the medical crisis is one massive part. But understanding the family strategy means looking at that information vacuum you mentioned, the silence that let the hoax grow.
Right. The timeline really shows how a medical crisis can morph into an informational one. Saturday, October 25th, the emergency begins.
Then Sunday, Monday, the family's keeping that private vigil. Totally understandable, right? They're focused entirely on the ICU.
But that necessary silence, that's the information vacuum. And that's exactly what misinformation loves to exploit.
And by Tuesday, the 28th, boom! It just exploded.
Yeah. Suddenly you've got these bogus media reports, widespread rumors, all definitively claiming he was dead, 47 years old, gone. Just like that.
And this is where we see that really ugly practice, grief jacking, come into play.
Yeah, grief jacking. Just to clarify, that's basically when media outlets or even just individuals online rush to report a celebrity death without proper verification. They want to be first purely for the clicks, the engagement.
And it becomes almost inevitable, doesn't it, when the public demand for news is that intense and there's that information vacuum?
It's a failure of the whole digital media ecosystem, really, prioritizing getting it out fast over getting it right.
Yeah.
Virality over verification.
And the consequences for the family, I mean, they were tangible, horrific. The sources talk about the real-world trauma. His mom, other family members, just flooded with calls, social media posts.
Seeing RIP posts, premature tributes, imagine that.
It turns the rumor from something abstract online into this active source of, like, secondary trauma. You're sitting by your loved one's bedside, praying, fighting.
And your phone won't stop buzzing with people offering condolences based on lies, or lies.
It forced them. They had to intervene publicly while he was still critically endangered. You called it informational violence.
That's what it feels like. That public expectation, that demand for shared tragedy, it just completely steamrolled the family's right to some private distress.
It's just cruel. The exhaustion they must have felt, fighting for his life and simultaneously having to fact-check his death online.
Which forced their hand. It forced the counterattack. The family's playbook, really, for taking back the narrative.
And they went direct. A definitive statement on Facebook. It came from his sister, Tedra Johnson-Spears, on that Tuesday, October 28th.
And that statement, wow. It was a masterclass in crisis comms and narrative control.
How she opened it, just bam! This will be my first and last post?
Such a brilliant tactic.
Hey.
Right away, it shuts down further speculation. It designates her as the single source of truth. Centralizes everything instantly.
That line is so powerful, but doesn't that put immense pressure back on her? Now she's the sole approved source. What if there's an update needed later? She has to break her own rule, sacrifice more time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Massive short-term pressure. But the immediate goal was containment. Stop the bleeding, informationally speaking.
Yeah.
And for that, it worked perfectly.
Okay, what else did she do?
Her next move was critical, too. Humanizing him. She didn't just say young bleed. She used his government name, Glenn. His nickname's Tank, Big Brother.
Ah, right. That totally reframes it. Takes it away from being a celebrity spectacle and brings it back to a real person, a family member.
Yeah, it implicitly shames anyone treating it like gossip or clickbait. It grounds the whole thing in family reality.
And then invoking their mother. That was powerful.
Oh, hugely powerful. Invoking emotional authority. The plea was basically, if you have not called his mother personally, please do not post about him.
That's tactical gold, isn't it? It creates this small in-group people close enough to actually call his mom and publicly delegitimizes everyone else's performative RIP posts.
Exactly. By framing those posts as direct disrespect to a suffering parent, she used public empathy, or the desire to appear empathetic, to enforce digital silence. Very smart.
So the post had two jobs, really.
Yeah, this dual mandate. First, fact-checking. Straight up, he is alive, he is still currently in ICU. Clear, simple facts.
And the second part was pure behavior control.
Totally. Direct, actionable demands.
Yeah.
Hold all calls and texts, do not post, and specifically, not make any RIP posts. It wasn't a request for prayers, it was a command. Stop engaging with this misinformation now.
It's fascinating, though. The platform paradox here. Social media caused the firestorm, the hoax went viral there.
But the only effective way to fight it was for the family to use the exact same platform, Facebook, to go direct.
Yeah, they bypassed the traditional media outlets that had failed them, the ones spreading the rumors, and just controlled the narrative themselves.
It just shows how much the game has changed for celebrity crisis management. You can't always rely on a press release or a publicist anymore.
You have to go where the misinformation is spreading fastest.
And inject the truth directly into that viral bloodstream. It's the only way sometimes.
So zooming out, they had to basically expose themselves publicly, give up a level of their own privacy.
Just to protect their immediate private peace.
That's that painful privacy paradox right there, isn't it?
Precisely. The family wanted, needed total privacy during a medical nightmare. But the only way to stop the incredibly painful public intrusion was to actually sacrifice some of that privacy.
Make that very public, very calculated statement.
Yeah. Go public short term to protect their family's sanctity long term. It shows this really painful erosion of private boundaries for public figures today. It's tough.
So let's recap where things stand now. As of the last reports we have, October 29th, 2025.
Young Bleed remains hospitalized, still in critical condition in the ICU. He's continuing that fight for his life.
And this whole crisis, it just throws this harsh spotlight on the irresponsibility of the click-driven media world.
Yeah, those false reports. They weren't just mistakes. They were effectively an act of informational violence, like we said, against a family already under unimaginable stress.
where that rush for clicks, for engagement, just completely overrode any sense of journalistic duty or even basic human decency.
And the family's painful but really sophisticated playbook. That might just be the new template for public figures caught in similar situations.
It really raises a tough question for all of us, doesn't it? As people consuming this stuff online. When tragedy hits a public figure,
Does their family actually have any practical right to privacy anymore? Or is our expectation of instant, verified news now so immediate?
that any silence, any vacuum, automatically gets filled by the worst possible interpretation, forcing families into this terrible choice. Go public or endure the lies.
It's something to think about next time you see those breaking headlines, right? Every click on an unverified rumor kind of chips away at that privacy.
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where we uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.